Hello everyone and welcome back to the Toby channel for another Fantasy EFL preview video. This week is game week 16, which is another massive week of action. It's the international break, so there's teams blanking all over the place. It's a massive chance to gain some points, move up the rankings. We've also got a brilliant expert on for Experts Corner this week, who is the world number 55 currently, who finished 33rd in the world last year as well. So stick around for that later in the video too. But for now, let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. However, before we can talk about this week's action, we've got to have a quick recap at game week 15 and how things went for us. And to be honest, all in all, I think that we scored pretty well. 71 points in a single game week, I think, is a decent score, but just everyone else seemed to average a really high amount of points. There were quite a few people who got into the hundreds, so big up to you if you did last week as well. Yeah, to be honest, I left the week feeling really frustrated, and I put sort of my post out about full time at the end over on Twitter, and I just had to log off and stay away from it because I was seeing loads of really high scores. And obviously fair play to you if you are. I'm just being really jealous and a bit salty, but I was just frustrated because Goodman conceded really late on. BDK got his lowest score of the season. He hadn't hit less than 5 points all season and literally got a square on 2-pointer for me. Mellon as well didn't do an awful lot, and it was that sort of last minute Salech goal that just came from a terrible error from Bailey Peacock Farrell, which really hurt me as well. Some of the other striker picks doing well when I was flopped, but overall I shouldn't be too mad because obviously there was all the Norwood and Sarcevic drama, and I switched to ACD. I also switched to Bolton, who I didn't really mention in the video last week, which I felt a bit bad for, but obviously those shocks to the Stockport team put me off there. The Watford pick and a couple of the earlier ones had already gone, and then the Bradford pick, I didn't feel great about the lineup against Burton as well. So yeah, overall happy that I went for Bolton. I'm sorry that I didn't mention them in the video and ended up doing really well. If anybody's still stuck by Stockport, just that team news was really poor, which is why you've sort of just got to be alert, I think, in Fantasy EFL at those changes at 3 PM. But overall it is still a green arrow. We moved up from 6.9k to 6,290, so we're moving in the right direction. I think we've nearly overtaken most of the inactive players by now, and we're getting towards the pack as to where we want to be. I think the top 1k is still sort of the aim because of just how bad that start of the season was. I gave myself a 200-300 point gap to have to claw back to nearly everybody else, so we're getting there. We're slowly moving in the right direction, but I still was pretty frustrated this week, and hopefully onto a bigger and better week this week. So our key information for this week, of course, is that it's the international break, so there's no championship fixtures being played whatsoever. We've only got 10 League 1 teams in action, but then all 24 of the League 2 teams are still playing as well. So if you need to know who the League 1 teams who are playing are, I've got them written down here. It's Lincoln versus Doncaster, Luton versus Rotherham, Burton versus Blackpool, Port Vale versus Wycombe, and Orient versus Exeter. I feel like the guy doing the classified at the end of Sky reading all of those out. So still some solid teams playing, some that I think offer up some real nice differentials as well. Of course, Wycombe mentioned there, and I'm going to have a lot to say about them over the course of the video. Got my Wycombe shirt on this week, of course, too. So yeah, let's have a look at the club picks and see who I'm liking the look of this week. So onto the club section now, and before I dive into detail on all the clubs that I'm liking, I say this every week, but I've got to say, if you've not liked and subscribed already, please do. We're trying to hit 500 subscribers by Christmas, and genuinely, we're really not too far off 500 now. I really think there's a chance that we could hit 450 this week, so if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing, because I post weekly Fantasy EFL content. I also post match vlogs, of course, from my commentary trips with Wycombe too. I'm going to try and have some sticker content out too. I've got some of the EFL stickers ordered, which I'm so excited to open, which should be coming at the end of next week too, so I'll have them out as soon as I can as well. So yeah, please do subscribe. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to become a bigger EFL content creator if I can as well, and with your support it means the absolute world, and it means so much to me that any of you tune in. And also I'll dress up as Santa for a Christmas episode if we hit 500 subscribers by then too, so why not do it? It's completely free, and hit like too if you're already subscribed as well, and if you're not subscribed, hit like as well. Why not? It's completely free. It helps me out a great deal. enough plug-in anyway, sorry about that, but into the club section we go. So the top two teams that we've got listed here are the two League 2 teams who I've sort of got as the showcase this week, and I know that these are going to be really, really popular, and they feel like pretty obvious picks to me, to be honest. The Notts County one against Harrogate. I think Harrogate have lost 6 on the bounce now. That might be wrong, but I think in the league that it's 6 on the bounce, which is pretty tough going, to be honest. I'm sorry for any Harrogate fans out there that you're having a tough time, but Notts is dated offensively really solid. Although they've not got the most clean sheets in the world, I think that will even out over the course of the season. 3rd against 21st, a team in good form against a team that is struggling. It just feels like a bit of a banker to me, but equally in these international breaks, those banker picks always seem to end up going wrong. The Bromley pick as well, I really like against Barrow. Bromley, who are they just look so compact, especially at home. They've not lost a home game all season, actually, which is interesting about Bromley. A really solid team at home. Their attacking data really good, the defensive data not too bad. I like it quite a lot for Bromley, and I've seen a lot of comparisons to them being like the new version of Gareth Ainsworth's Wycombe, which I quite like as well. Luton against Rotherham. Jack Wilshere, to be fair, I said bad things about him last week, but he's actually doing very well for Luton so far at the start. That 3-0 win at Stockport is just an astounding result. Rotherham, who are in really, really good form. I think they're 6 unbeaten actually, and they have had 2 away wins in that time, so maybe that could put you off. But Rotherham in general, their defensive data is the 2nd worst in the league. I think a few of those results have been a bit smash and grab and a little bit lucky, but maybe I'm talking down on Rotherham too much. If there's any Rotherham fans, I'd love to hear what you think about the fixture this week down below, so do let us know if there's any Rotherham fans who are watching as well, because I feel like that's a fixture to avoid a little bit because of that form, but equally the numbers and the data for Luton are really, really good. Lincoln against Doncaster. Lincoln, a solid side who haven't been perfect recently, but Doncaster, who are struggling a little bit as well. Quite like the look of some of the Lincoln assets, especially the defenders. I think as a team with their defensive data, I don't think it's the worst team pick in the world whatsoever if you want to go a little bit different to some of the more popular ones. Now, of course, I've got to speak about Wycombe quite a lot this week because there's a lot of people looking at us. We're in really, really good form. We've scored 7 in our last 2 games. Port Vale conceding 7 in their last 2 games in that time as well. Wycombe under Michael Duff, I think it's been 12 games now, only 1 loss in all competitions, and that loss we got an apology from the referees about, and it should have been a draw with a really late goal that should have stood, and we got apologised to for it. So the form has been really, really good. The thing that would concern me here is the away form. We've only won 1 game away from home all season, although we've not lost in our last 2. That's been a draw and a win in our last 2 away games, so I think we're getting better. A lot of that is just those numbers from when we had Mike Dodds at the start of the season. So things are looking really on the up for us. The defensive data is really good. The attacking data is good. We're playing really good football. We're feeling very confident. We've got that feel-good factor. So I think that Wycombe is a good pick. And to me, I think that we would be the 3rd best pick behind Notts and Bromley this week in terms of my ranking and how I'm looking at it as well. Definitely tempted to go for it for those extra 2 bonus away points as well. Burton against Blackpool. I like this pick as a bit of a differential if you want to go a bit rogue. I also think that Blackpool could be a good pick too because they're flying high. I think it's a bit of a 50-50 call, but if you're willing to take a bit of a gamble, one of those teams, whoever you think looks the best out of them, maybe could be worth it. Burton's attacking data is pretty decent, but just their defensive data is pretty shocking. So I'm going to stay away from that one because I think it's a bit unpredictable, but I do think that there is definitely some life in the Burton assets this week. Leyton Orient as well. They've got a couple wins in a row at home. They've got a decent home record. Exeter away have only won 2 games away from home all season. One of them being against Wycombe, which was just a travesty of a result. The way that we didn't get anything from that game was ridiculous. I think they had 1 shot on target in that whole game. It was from really far out, and the goal they scored was an own goal, which was so unfortunate. So yeah, Exeter away from home, I'm not backing too much. I actually watched them away for their other win of the season as well against Lincoln, and again, it was a bit of a smash and grab in that game. So don't think they're amazing away from home and think that Orient are a bit of a differential. I also like Walsall as an honourable mention, but I just think there might be better weeks to back them in than against Colchester, who have a pretty sturdy defence. And then Swindon as well, I don't think their fixture's perfect, so I just prefer the ones that I've listed too, but definitely not the worst idea as well. Notts, Bromley and Wycombe are the ones that I'm looking at, but do really like Lincoln and Luton as well. So that's where I'm at on the club picks, and definitely some really nice ones to pick from this week. Again, with the defenders section, I think that there's a few of these assets that are really stand out this week. The most popular one at the minute is Smith from Tranmere, who I'm not sure about just because the clean sheets haven't been perfect and Tranmere's defensive data isn't quite as good as some of the other teams within League 1 and League 2. But his bonus numbers are ridiculous and he's scored 3 goals already this season. So maybe those are reasons enough to have a look at Smith, especially given the fact that the fixture against Cheltenham is pretty decent. Although Cheltenham are scoring way more goals at the moment than they were at the start of the season. Sanders at MK Dons, I think just based on the amount of clearances that he gets and the way that his attacking threat seems to be pretty solid, he's never going to be a bad pick. His average points is ridiculous, by the way, but surely that's got to come down over the course of the season. I do think that Salford have a really good attack as well, so I'm not 100% on that one this week, but if you just would rather back than, you know, changing players around every week, would rather back a solid player who gets loads of bonuses, Sanders is your man. So Wunmi, bonuses brilliant, his attacking data brilliant. I saw somebody say that Suwunmi in a past life, in either his youth days or when he was younger, used to be a striker. Maybe that's why he's got such good attacking data and why he seems to be so good in front of goal with 4 goals already this season. The defensive data for Barrow is for Bromley. Sorry, getting my words mixed up there. The defensive data for Bromley is really solid. Barrow not so much as well. So yeah, I do think that the Suwunmi pick is a very solid choice this week. Similarly to Suwunmi, Bradley, I always love his attacking data. I say it every week. I feel like I put him in the videos every week, to be honest. But I do like this fixture. The clean sheets, they haven't been as good with recently as they were earlier in the season. But I think at home to Doncaster, it's a great fixture and Bradley has a solid chance of a clean sheet. And maybe he could get a goal as well because his goal threat's always really good. Month got his first goal of the season last week too. Similarly, Weir got an assist last week as well. Both of those with attacking returns last week. The month pick, Oldham's defence has been so good this season. The Crewe fixture isn't perfect, but it's not terrible as well. Just because of how good Oldham have been defensively, I think that Month is a decent shout. The bonuses are good as well. Weir, who's on set pieces, the Taylor Allen region as we keep calling him, I think that the Weir shout is still decent too. Again, Colchester not the perfect fixture, but there's a bit of a differential who has a really high ceiling because of that attacking threat. Don't mind the Weir pick whatsoever. And then last but not least, by far means not least, is the Notts defender Ness. He played as the central defender in the last game. I think maybe for the last 2. He's had a torrid time with injuries, I know. But if he's going to be the central defender and he's going to play the full game, which he has done the last 2 matches for Notts County, I think that fixture against Harrogate is amazing. And the defensive data suggests that Notts County's clean sheets are really going to start hitting soon. So I think that the Nest pick could be a massive differential. I'm hearing rumours that Platt, who could also play the central centre-back, could be back from injury as well. You'll hear FPL Jack talk about that later on in Experts Corner, as he's definitely looking at him too. So I think whoever that central defender is definitely not a bad shout for Notts County too. I think Sarula has 2 goals and 2 assists as well if you want a bit of an attacking option from that Notts defence. I really think that it's a good one to be targeting and looking at. If you want a Wycombe one, I'd probably go for Harvey or I'd go for Hargleshaw. But equally, I don't think that Anders Hargleshaw has got a clean sheet while he's played for Wycombe, but I don't think that that's from his fault at all. But I think I'm going to stay away from the Wycombe defence just because it's away from home. And then Tucker for Colchester as well. His bonuses are just so good. Him and maybe the likes of Hartridge at Burton as well. Don't mind too much. So there's loads of picks. I think Suwunmi, Bradley, Ness and Month, they're maybe my standouts. But again, there's a lot of different reasons to pick different assets with high ceilings as well. So have a bit of a think about it. I think all of these are worth considering and it's going to be a tough choice in defence this week. Onto the midfielders section now, and this is a section that I'm very excited for this week because I'm going to chat a lot about the Wycombe assets. I'm sorry that I get so excited and I harp on for so long about them when they're possible assets, but I was used to it from last season. They were really good picks, and this week we're finally coming back into the fray. So if you're thinking about the Wycombe picks, I will go into quite a bit of detail on those. We'll start with Bailey and Webster though. Bailey, according to FOTMob, played in the 10 for Doncaster last week as well. I didn't like him earlier in the season because I think he's quite a defensive player, but if he's playing in a much higher position as well, considering how good his attacking data has been this season as well, his interceptions are solid. I think he could play his way into a lot of people's thinking. Just think that fixture against Lincoln is a little bit too solid. But do let me know if there's any Doncaster fans who are watching. Please do let me know down below. Did Bailey play in the 10 last week, and do you expect him to this week as well? I don't think that I would go there nonetheless, but I'm sure that a lot of people will think about it, and he's really high selected because of how consistent he's been over the season. Webster, a player who roots to points to find this guy as an asset, which I absolutely love. He gets so many chances himself to score, but also creates a lot too. His expected goal involvements are really good, but also he gets interceptions as well. So I think that Webster has it all as an asset, and he's definitely a captaincy shout for the week. I think quite a lot of people will go there because the fixture's really good too, although Blackpool are getting themselves a bit together under Ian Evatt. So I like the Webster shout whatsoever. It's just if I can fit Webster in over the Wycombe assets that I'm so excited about. Onyedinma to me is the one with the highest ceiling. Last week we saw that with the 2 goals that he scored. He should have had a hat-trick as well. He was hold down last man, which somehow wasn't a red card, which was beyond me. And you know, he would have had another chance at an open goal and probably a hat-trick if that didn't happen too. So that also hampers the attacking data that he would have had, but he still got 0.53 expected goals last week. He's had 4 spells at Wycombe, and this is the best that I've seen him play in the best run of form. It's just, can he do it away from home? He has already had a couple good appearances away this season and scored once, maybe twice, at least got another assist away too. So do you think that Fred's worth thinking about? Leahy, a bit more steady as an asset, gets those interceptions a bit more regularly than Fred, although Fred last season was good for interceptions and he's been underperforming it so far. Do think that Leahy is definitely worth considering too. Henderson I spoke about a lot last week, but he didn't play in that 10 role which I mentioned, which hopefully if anybody was thinking about it, they saw that I would have posted about that, because Mullins, when he plays, does seem to play a bit higher up than Henderson. Mullins is on international duty this week, so Henderson will play in the 10. His attacking data has been really, really good, especially in those games that he's played in the 10 role, and his interception threat is still pretty decent too. So I think that he could be a bit of a sleeper pick, and it's actually a really close call between the 3. Onyedinma is probably my favourite just because of how well he's been playing recently, and just putting those chances away last week was really good to see. I think he's got the highest ceiling out of them all, but equally he's really steady, and I think Henderson does have it in him as well to pull out a really good haul. So it's a tough choice, but I would lean towards Fred out of them all. El Mazzuni, his interception's really, really good. A nice fixture against Exeter, but his attacking threat, he scored 3 goals this season from 0.4 expected goals, which is overperforming it so much. So yeah, not sure about El Mazzuni, but those interceptions as well, 1.67 per 90, really, really good. Walton against Bristol Rovers. I'm really sorry about the 6-7 reference, by the way. Walton against Bristol Rovers, I like in terms of the attacking data. The key passes and the shots on target, for a guy who's only played 9 games, I believe, this season, 5 goals and assists is really good as well. So Walton, I think, could be a bit of a sleeper. I'm really sorry, I had to get that 6-7 reference in there. It's been bugging me for weeks that I've not said it. But Walton against Bristol Rovers, I think, is a good fixture for him. Bristol Rovers not having an amazing season by any means. Walton, who's not actually played an awful lot of games, he's got 5 goals to his name. I've backed him already this season and he's not quite pulled through for me. I'm definitely thinking about it this week with his XGI per 90 being so good. And his shots on target for a guy who's not played that many games, that data is actually pretty decent. Tyrese Hall is probably my favourite differential pick for the week. On loan from Spurs, I believe, at Notts County, and he's been really, really good for them. Playing against Harrogate, who are really struggling as well. He's played 90s over the last couple. He's in really good form too. The attacking data isn't perfect, but I think that it's still solid. And if you're looking at maybe going for one striker and you don't want to go for Jatta, then Hall could maybe sort of cover off that Notts attack. I'll probably say that, and Jatta will go and score a hat-trick next week. But I do think that he's worth thinking about as well. So yeah, and I've put Cabia in the honourable mentions as well, who was obviously my favourite asset from the start of the season, who caused me so much pain. But I just do think that when there's not that many players to choose from, a guy, I think he's been back playing 90 in the last couple of games, at least did in his last game, who is potentially on penalties, at least playing striker for Grimsby, who are a decent attack. He could really be worth thinking about. But yeah, that's it for the midfielder section. I'm sorry that I've yapped on for a long time because of those Wycombe assets, but a lot to think about. I love the Webster pick. I love at least one of the Wycombe assets, maybe 2 of them, but Walton and Hall as well. Really, really good picks for this week. Onto the game week 16 forwards now, and we will start with Michael Cheek, who is so popular for the week, 12.2%, and it's a great fixture, so I'm not surprised at all. He's got 6-7 average points as well. I'm sorry, I'm doing it again. But yeah, his XGI data really good. 8 goals to his name already, of course. continuing his form from last season when he got player of the season as well. Loads of shots on target. I think that Cheek is a brilliant pick for the week as well. Patrick's form has dropped off recently. I think he did get an assist in the EFL Trophy game midweek, which maybe will help him out a little bit with a bit of confidence. The fixture against Cheltenham is really good, and of course he was so good earlier in the season. So one that I'm sure some people will think about, but I just think that there's better options at the moment in the game. Connolly, was quite impressed with him against Wycombe, although the fact that he hit a shush to the terrace for Wycombe. So Aaron Connolly, I'm sure that you're not watching this, but if you are, get shushed back, because yeah, how's that result? I for one enjoyed that game a lot. But yeah, I do think that he's still a good asset for the league. He gets a lot of shots on targets. He's on penalties, and playing against Exeter as well is a nice fixture. So Connolly, even though I've just shushed you, I do think that you're a good asset for the week and you're a great player. Jatta against Harrogate, I think, is the perfect fixture for him, a team that are really struggling in confidence. Jatta gets a lot of chances. Last season had a ridiculous amount of chances. He should have put more goals away than he did, and he did still score a lot of goals. I think that he is a brilliant pick, him and Cheek probably alongside each other for the best forward asset in my opinion. Udo away at MK Dons, I think there still could be some joy in that fixture, but it's not the perfect game for him. Some people will still back him, and it wouldn't surprise me if he kept up this form. He didn't get anything last week, but the weeks before he was doing really, really well. Carnu for Walsall, I think, is a brilliant pick as well. Colchester game is a pretty tricky fixture because their defence is solid, but I just think his form has been really, really good. He's a player who's really impressed me as well. So I think that Carnu's one to watch. And then Fletcher at Blackpool, who are coming into their own. The Burton fixture isn't the worst in the world. His data is really bad in terms of XGI, don't get me wrong, 0.22 is shocking. But in the last few games, I think he's got something like 3 goals and assists or something along those lines in his last 4 games. So definitely one to think about as Blackpool's attack seems to be improving. Vernon, who his just key passes and his involvement is so impressive at Grimsby. And then Bell and Woodrow as well. The Wycombe forwards just seem to be doing really well at the minute. Woodrow who's on penalties, but Bell, the sort of system suits him a bit better than Woodrow. So definitely 2 that you could think about, but I just think that there isn't really a reason to not look at a Cheek or a Jatta this week. To me, they just feel like no-brainers, but there are a few of those more differential picks who definitely have some joy in there. Gather around everyone, welcome back to the Experts Corner, where we find Fantasy EFL's finest minds and we see their first draft for the week. We are lucky to have FPL Jack on this week, who I've got to say some kind words about Jack because he was one of the first people to really consistently interact with the content that I was putting out on X last year. And I've got so much time for Jack. I always speak to him about Plymouth if I'm thinking about Plymouth assets or anything like that, and it's very rare that he would get something wrong. He tends to always get those spot on. So if you ever have a Plymouth question and for some reason you're thinking about backing a Plymouth asset, then Jack is your man to ask as well. Make sure to go and follow him over on X because he's a legend and he's a really, really good fantasy EFL player who's 55th in the world currently and finished 33rd last year. Can't remember if I said that at the start. If I just repeated myself, then apologies. But anyway, enough yapping. I'll hand you over to a proper expert of the game as to Jack, and yeah, he'll talk you through his first draft for the team and how it's looking.
Hey guys, I'm Jack. I'm currently sitting 55th in the world. I played last year and finished 33rd. Before we go into my GW16 team, make sure to like and subscribe to Toby's channel. Genuinely one of the best and hardest working guys in the community. In goal, I'm backing Luton's keeper, Keeley. They've got one of the highest clean sheet odds this week and have really tightened up under new manager Wilshere. For our home to a Rotherham side, you create very little away from home, just with 5 goals and 14 shots on target in the last 7 away games. In defence, Swanley is locked for me. He plays for Bromley's side, who've already kept 5 clean sheets this season and has scored in his last 2 back-to-back league games and also has good bonus potential. They face a Barrow side who have been overperforming their expected goals massively and are among the lowest for shots in the league, so another clean sheet looks on. My second defender is Platt from Notts County, a popular pick last year. He's coming back from injury and should start with Bedayu suspended. He should play centrally in the back 3, which is good for bonus potential. Notts have only conceded 1 in their last 4 games. They face a Harrogate side who are struggling offensively, have the lowest XG in the league and only 15 shots on target in the last 6 matches. In midfield, Webster is in and takes the captaincy armband. He's on great form, 1 goal and 2 assists in his last 3 games, and averaging over 7 points per game. He offers a bit of everything, and Blackpool's defence looks shaky, having conceded 85 shots in the last 4 games. My second pick is Walton. He's coming back from injury and looking sharp. He has had 5 goals and 1 assist from the 7 starts. He'll play up top alongside Madden against a poor Bristol Rovers defence. He has shipped 13 goals in the last 4 games. He will also be missing key players due to injury and international duty. Up front, first in is Jatta. He's on red hot form right now with 5 goals in his last 4 games. He averages 1.67 shots on target per game and faces a Harrogate side who have conceded the most goals and one of the most shots in the league. This will be a very good opportunity for Jatta to continue his form. Next to him is Cheek, another in-form striker with 10 goal contributions in 15 games. He's central to everything they do in the attack. Also facing the defence at league chances, I can see a lot of XG. This week I will stick to the 2-2-2 formation. It's not always the most reliable formation, but with this many strikers available, it was really hard to ignore. Even Orion's forward, Connolly, tempts me this week versus a poor Exeter defence. Finally, my team picks. Notts County is my first team pick. It was a good fixture on paper and probably one of the best fixtures this week. They're unbeaten in 5 games, who are facing a side that are winners in the last 5 league games. This feels like a perfect time to back them. I will also be picking Luton. I've only used them once this season, and they are one of the best odds to win this week. They are on good form with Wiltshire, and they are facing a Wilton side who offer very little in the attack. Once again, thank you for the opportunity, Toby. It was an honour. Good luck everybody in Game Week 16, and may your hours be green.
Brilliant stuff from Jack. Thank you so much for coming on, and as I say, give him a follow as well. Lovely of him to give me a little plug in there as well. Jack, you're an absolute legend, and good luck for the week too. So the Platt shout, I was looking, of course, at the other Notts defender who I thought could have been at the central centre-back position, Ness. If it is Platt, then I think that those two assets are really similar because that central position, as he says, do seem to be really good for clearances. So yeah, really like the draft from Jack. No Wycombe assets, which maybe he's just salty that Wycombe knocked Plymouth out of the FA Cup the other week. Potentially. Sorry, didn't need to get that dig in there after you just done me a favour. But yeah, thanks so much to Jack for coming on. Best of luck for the week. Hope that Plymouth turn things around soon as well. And Jack is an absolute legend, so make sure to go and give him a follow. Now to have a look at my team selection for Game Week 16. Here is how I'm looking. We've got Roos in net because, as I said, I think the Notts data suggests that the clean sheets could be on the way soon for them. Swunmi and Bradley, two really solid defenders who get good clearances, but they've also got great attacking data. I just think that all 3 of those in defence, I like the fixture and I could see a clean sheet. Knowing me in these international breaks, we'll probably get a none after I've said that. I've doubled up with Fred and with Leahy. I've got the captaincy on Fred at the minute, but it does feel kind of wrong to me. I feel like I should put it on someone else. Maybe Cheek is one who I could think about. Equally, I'm debating putting Webster in for Hall, or maybe for Leahy, and then going for Jatta, who I do think that Webster is a good captaincy shout. I'm just trying to go a little bit different, trying to gain a bit of ground, but I do think that I could see another great week for Webster this week as well. The team picks that I've gone for are Bromley and Notts County, who, to me, are the 2 most solid ones. I think there's a chance that I take one of those Wycombe assets out and then go for Wycombe as the team pick, but I just feel like given how good the data on the fixtures are for Bromley and Notts County, do you need to take the risk on Wycombe, who haven't been perfect away from home? I don't know, but I do think that it's between those 3 clubs, in my opinion, for me anyway. Certainly thinking about Ness if I want to change things around in the defence, or whoever that central defender is for Notts County. Walton too is worth thinking about because his attacking data is really good, and as I mentioned with Jatta too, he could go in there. A lot to think about this week, some really, really solid assets, but I'm liking the look of the team at the minute. Just trying to be a bit different in a week where I think there will be a bit of a template going on. But yeah, that's how I'm looking at the moment, but obviously things might change and I'll always update that over on my Twitter too, FEFLTIPS. Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for this week in my Game Week 16 Fantasy EFL preview. As I said earlier, if you've not subscribed already, please do and hit that like button as well. We're on the road to 500 subscribers, and I think that there really is a chance that we could be at 450 this time next week as well. Hope that all of the data has helped you out. If you've got any questions about the Wycombe assets, if you're thinking about them too, you need anything clarifying, then do let me know as well, because I would hope that I can try and provide some answers. But I wish I could tell you who is just the best asset out of them all, but there's quite a lot to choose between. I'm liking the look of Onyedinma quite a lot for the week though, but maybe that's just the recency bias and my own bias too. I wish everybody the best of luck for the week. Hopefully everybody's hitting green arrows. We will be here the same time, the same place next week for more content. As always, let me know if you have any questions. I want to hear as many comments as possible because I love replying to them all, and I always try my best to get a reply to everybody. Thanks so much. Enough yapping. On to this week. Good luck everyone. Best of luck and peace.